Hello guys, in this video we are going to understand how this works in JavaScript. When I'm talking about this, I'm talking about this keyword, actually this one. So you might have used this so many times, infinite times, but sometimes in JavaScript you get confused because how we are using this. Sometimes the concept of this changes in normal functions. Sometimes concept of this changes in the arrow functions, and like we get confused like why this is something else, why this is something else here. So after this video, you won't have any confusion in your mind and you will be mastered in this. And wherever you apply this, you will be confident and understand like this will be the output. Let's talk about this here. So let's first of all, let's try to console log this and see what is this here. So if I see the output, I see it's a window object. It's nothing but a window object. Okay, and why this is window object? So for now, just understand whatever we run in our browser, understand it like a function. So window calls that function and everything will be executed by the window itself. And whoever execute a function is actually this. So here window is calling this function, this context, this code, all this code window is calling. So here this is window. So far just understand like whoever calling the method is actually the output of this. So whatever we write here is kind of function which window calls, and it's all of it resides in window object. I will just show in a second. Yeah, let's talk about something else and see like how it works. I'm just going to create a function sum. Okay, I will console three things just to make just to clear confusions. I'll create three variables here and let me just add some text here. For example, I will just console first this, then I will console log arguments. The reason behind why I'm adding arguments is it is also one of the special kind of variable which we automatically get inside the methods, and I'm just going to add window. Now what I will do here is like I will just try to call this method and see what is happening. If I see the output, I'm getting this here. The output of this is a window. Okay. Output of arguments is an argument object. Here you will get the arguments which you pass inside the method. Right now we don't have any argument. That's why it's not giving any argument details. Here you see the function name and the window is window actually. And if you notice the window output of this and output of window is same, means the context which we are having here is actually the window object. So as I said, consider this whole thing is being called by the window, and this is not just assumptions. If I expand this, you will notice, if I scroll down, you will notice the sum method is defined here on window itself. So this sum is actually being called by the window. And as I said, whoever will be calling the method will be actually this. So this is not nothing but a variable which is being created inside a function, and the value which we get inside on this is actually the caller. So if you might ask you may ask me like why we are getting this here as window, although we are not calling this with window. Yeah, that is correct, but by default it is actually being called by the window. If I try to log this, if I try to call using window, you will notice like this is same. So what JavaScript does is actually removes this part, since it is known that on top level everything will be called by window object, and that's why whoever here assume this window as an object. So whoever object is calling a method is actually this inside the method. So I see like this window is being is calling the sum method. So it is this here. So far it is clear. Like if an object is calling a method, then that object is this inside the method. All right. And now I'll just write some again, and what I will do here is like I will just create an object this time. Let's assume like I have an object like variable sum, and now this time what I'm going to do here is like I'm going to add take two variables here, one, I mean two fields. I'm just going to create get sum method here, and what I will do here is like I will just return this dot a. Now when I call sum dot get sum, instead of sum what I can do is like I can use some object, so its name will clearly show like it is an object. Now you notice like whenever we are calling get sum, as we discussed, whoever is calling this the method will be actually this inside the method. So the sum object is calling get sum, so the this will refer to this sum object, and when just replace in your mind, not here but in your mind, you can just replace this with the sum object and imagine like what will be the variable output. So by replacing it in your mind, you will imagine like okay, so it is going here and it will find a, so the value of this will be 1. Let's try it out and see what is showing. I corrected the semicolon here. Now when I see the output, I'm getting here 1. So as I said, whoever whatever is calling the method, I mean in short you can understand like whatever is be on the left side of the dot is actually this. All right, now let's remove the function and use the arrow function here. Try to console log. Now the special functionality of arrow function is like there's no such variable gets created such as this or arguments. Neither of them, you will find it inside the arrow function. So this will be considered it from like if it has these two variables in from the parent scope, then it will log. Otherwise, this will be undefined. What I mean by the parent scope is like let's say this is being called inside a method, and in the method this and arguments is already there. These two are already there. Then what will happen is like this will print. Otherwise, it will not have this object as this inside the method. Let me just try to see the output and if I can show you here again. Now I'm just getting some other error here. So as you can see like the arguments, as I said, the arguments is not any predefined field. That's why it is giving error. I have not defined the argument variable. Let me remove it and try to see the output again, and like you can see like here I'm getting this as window. Since the sum object was not passed as this inside the sum get sum, so it tried to look outside, and when it looked outside it found like okay, outside this method this was just window object, so it is showing the window. All right, let me just go back and write function again here and try to console arguments. Now we'll see the argument variables object is here, and I can add some arguments as well. Let's say A, B, C, and I'm just going to pass 2, 3, 4, 5, and all. What will happen is like it will show the arguments also. Now the arguments object will have the arguments actually. So this is all about the this in JavaScript. You can try to explore, practice more, you will understand it easily. As I said, like whatever is behind on the left side of the dot is actually this. If we are using the normal function keyword, or function with the direct parenthesis, but if we use the arrow function, it does not pass the context to the function. It does not creates any like a variable such as this or arguments. So they does not actually they do not exist there. So we'll have to the method will be dependent on the parent or parent scope. So if that exists in the parent scope, it will catch it. Otherwise, it will show undefined. That's all from this video. Have a nice day.